Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back again. This is Baylor Mage, and this is day 6 and 7 recap of our whole 0 to hero with no magic find. I put a few other things in, which was no crafting, no flipping, and also none of the boring things, that at least the things I perceive as boring. So we didn't do any heisting or tier 1 essences or delve, because I personally don't like those things, even though they're all very, very profitable. And we're done. It is day 7. We have achieved everything we wanted to achieve. We have over 100 div in currency in the stash tab. We have the headhunter on. We have a fully kitted out character, and we're capable of doing all of the things we wanted. So it's gone very well. But as you can see in the background, we spent all day yesterday. Oh, what I will mention is the reason that this is 2 days in one instead of a video in the middle is that my day 6 was fraught with technical difficulties, and I only got to play for about 2.5 hours, maybe 3, somewhere in that range, and then everything on my PC broke. So that day I ended up doing very little progress. So instead of making a YouTube video about my 3 hours worth of progress, I was like, we'll just push that off. We'll do day 6 and day 7 together. So I do believe if I didn't have the technical issues, day 6 would have been the last day. But since I did, it ended up being 7 days to be finished. Oh well, stuff happens. So you can see in the background what we were doing all day. We actually changed strategies once we got the headhunter, do something a little bit more fun, and I decided to do invitation rotas, and the cheapest one to run at the time was Shaper. So we're doing 4 witness Shaper maps and then a Shaper invite, and that just on repeat over and over again. So it's 4 witness maps with destructive play, so we got a bunch of extra bosses, and then do the invite, go again. The reason this was so profitable, and I do mean so profitable, is a few things. One, Maven invites, which we were getting 5 or 6 splinters for every single run. 3 divines, 3.2 divines in bulk. Absolutely great. Also, I was getting back more Shaper maps than I used to run them. I was averaging slightly more than 1 Shaper Guardian map per map. It was roughly 1.5. Now, guaranteed, I got 1 from the Sextant. So that's the only Sextant that I used, was drop a Shaper map, and that makes the boss, I think it's deal 100% more damage and have 200% more life. But we can run them all scoured, so it's still not an issue. Absolutely fine. So that does guarantee our Shaper return map, and then we got about half a map per map back on top of that. But we also got a bunch of Conqueror maps, a few synth maps, a few Cortexes. We almost self-sustain our invites. We ended up roughly for every 8 invite sets we ran, we got 6 back, and so we only had to buy 2 for every set of 8. And then we also got some Elder Slayer invites, some actual Elder invites and whatnot to sell to make up that difference. And we'll jump into game. I did take a little bit of notes at the beginning. All right, so this is the tree I went with. All this is we've taken shrines because they speed us up. We've also taken pact with energy, mostly for the movement speed. I just wanted to go fast. The max res and damage doesn't hurt at all. That was also the only scarab I used. I used a rusted sulfite scarab at 2C a map, and 1 single sextant for the drop an additional Shaper. We took strong boxes. Gonna be honest, this did nothing and did not contribute to our profit in any meaningful way at all. These were pretty much all wasted points. I don't think strong boxes did much at all. I also took this so that I could get extra sulfite just by completing the map that I could then like use to buy resonators, I'm going to be honest, the portion of profit that this was is also irrelevant. So I would say those points and those points and those points, not very useful. Otherwise, all the duplication nodes, a few plus map nodes, just so I could have some maps accumulating, all the duplicates. We took the rarity and quant circle just because I really love it, but I don't think it was all that useful. And we did take these extra shrines as well. Otherwise, just the standard stuff at the top. I will link this in the description. But I took some quick notes for the first 32 maps I ran just to see what it would be. 32 maps, which I had to buy all of, cost me 800 chaos. The invites I had to buy all of. That was 12 div, because they're 1.5 each. And I spent 400 C in sextants, which meant the entire thing cost me 17 div and 130 C to prep 32 maps. And then I got back 48, and it took about 3 hours, including buying all the juice. I included buying all the juice in that. Took 3 hours to run that. Made 48. That means the profit is 30 div, and this is actually 10 div an hour. Now that's including buying. That's including the buying. So if you were to do this once and then turn around and next time you go and buy whatever you need, you just buy, 100 maps worth instead, you'll cut that time way back. And also, if you just have a faster character, or if you don't include all the strong boxes that I was doing, and I also ran most of them alked to a decent quantity until I discovered about halfway through that the returns were irrelevant and I should have just ran them all scoured. So running them all scoured, the second half ran way quicker than the first half. Absolutely should have just been scoured. There's no reason to do that. So I'm pretty confident that with like a specialized character for this, that this is somewhere around a 16 div an hour return if you got a nice zoomy zoom build and you ran them scoured to begin with. But for me, it was 10 div an hour, but that's fine. You can see we've got our whole character set up. Everything is good. We have all of our stuff that I was planning, unless I got to level 100, which I wasn't going to do. And we have 90 raw divines and 2,300 chaos. We've actually still got stuff left to sell from that farm, but at least according to PoE stack, there's actually 108 divines just in the currency tab. So that's not counting the stuff I still have left over. I still have a few delirium orbs and whatnot. Probably 8 to 10 div worth of stuff just in sell tabs, just waiting on somebody to pick them up. Few invites and things like that still left, but otherwise there's already 108 div in our stash. So that was the whole thing. That was the entire project. Absolutely no MF. 7 days or 6 if you want to. Depends on whether you want to count that 3 hour and then technical difficulty fiasco, but that is a pretty good setup. I do think now that I've practiced it, I could probably do that again in 5. I think 5 days from fresh to get to this stage would be pretty reasonable. Now that is mid-league. Again, if we're at the beginning of a league start, there are a lot of things I can do with the economy that can turn me from like, progressing at a normal rate to making disgusting amounts of profit just by being quick enough to be in front of the economy. But I didn't have any of those advantages this time. So this was really fun. I will link both the Atlas tree and this character's path of building in the description. And that will be the end of that challenge. I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.